Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of KigerCraft. I'm Tigorso, and Gieran is on. He's down shearing sheep. But if I sound a little weird, it's because I'm sick right now. So I'm gonna try and get through this with as little coughing as possible. But Gieran told me that I was supposed to come on because he had left something for me. I'm thinking that this might be it. This is sort of a little thing that he had going. You remember in the last episode when I was doing these awesome storage rooms that he had me choosing colors. Well, this is what it was for. He's gonna put a pattern in the ceiling, I guess, and he's working on it. We're also probably going to do something with the floor too. This is something that I was thinking about. So I wonder if that was it. I don't know. Let's go find him. Let's see what he's up to. Oh. I guess this was it. So, trapdoors. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Oh jeez. Oh, why? I bet you thought that bear trap meant a trap for bears. It actually is a trap made by bears. I hope you enjoy your bear trap. P.S. These may help. Oh, I gotta break this. Oh, jeez. Well, it certainly will help. An efficiency 1 diamond axe. Alright, well. Way to go, Gieran. You have successfully made my life hell. I'm sure that this is some sort of... Oh, crap. I'm pretty sure that this is some sort of revenge plot for something. I'm not sure what it could be, but I'm sure it's a revenge plot for something. Oh my god, this is going to take me forever. Well, good thing that I have something to talk about. Jeez, I can't believe this. Alright, well, I'm gonna use this wool here. Anyways, so I had something else planned, but I guess we're gonna be doing this now. But I can still talk about some stuff because there is some cool stuff that that actually surprised me when I was prepping for today's episode. God, I'm gonna need to get into pearls. A lot of you guys know of AMD, which is the major competitor to Intel for PC processors. I read that they have hired a bank to explore the options for, I guess, potentially selling the company or some of the company's assets in order to raise money. AMD has been struggling, and that's sort of an understatement for many years now. I personally don't use AMD products. I actually never have, because it seems to go in cycles. Like AMD will be good for a while, and then there'll be long bouts of where AMD isn't any good, in comparison to Intel. And it always seems like when I'm ready to buy a computer, that's when AMD is the worst. It's like, Intel's wiping the floor with them. But so that leads to certain problems when your products don't sell. And that's really what AMD is dealing with. AMD doesn't have super competitive products. What their main draw, I guess you could say, is that they are cheaper than Intel. So I guess they have something, but in the high end market, where I usually buy all of my components and things like that, you're gonna have Intel dominance. I mean, AMD is, oh my god, how did he even do this? AMD is good for some things, but when you break it down for gaming, I mean, like, they have 8 cores, and really good, multi-threading, but what requires 8 cores? What is a multi-threading application? I mean, those things are not in computing. Very, very few applications will actually take advantage of that sort of power. So in the things where it matters, games, Intel usually trounces AMD. So that's not really what I wanted to talk about. Well, I mean, it is what I'm talking about, but Intel versus AMD is not really my topic. What my topic is what is it going to mean for the future of computers in general? Now that AMD is having problems. And I think that is a far scarier question, because if you look at the PC processor market, you have two competitors, Intel and AMD. Now, some people might say, well, there's ARM processors, but I don't really feel that in computing that ARM is really a competitor. They have yet to actually show that their architecture can scale up to the sort of core size and power that Intel and AMD's current offerings can. So I don't really consider them in that. But yes, ARM is definitely a competitor. It's moving up in the market, at least in the mobile space. And for those of you who aren't really familiar with it, ARM is pretty much the type of processor that powers your smartphone. So if you have a smartphone or a tablet, it's going to be running an ARM processor, probably from Qualcomm, Samsung, or a few other potential makers. So there is movement there, but I'm pretty much concerned about the general PC health, because Intel is not really the best sort of manufacturer. They make a great product, but their business practices leave something left to be desired, especially when they have a weaker competitor. Excuse me. Like AMD. So it's hard to say what they will do, but there are a few scenarios in this, and I don't really think any of them are any good, because I actually sat down and I thought about what a future without AMD would be. Now, this article that I was reading, tried to envision who would buy AMD if it were to go on the market. They certainly could get it for cheap. I mean, the company's shares trade for like $2 a share. It's ridiculously low. They're very low cost to buy if you're going to be an investor. That's because there's not a great potential for return. But he was saying that there are a bunch of companies. ARM could buy them, which I don't really think that could happen. ARM is more about selling their architecture or licensing their architecture to other companies. They don't really build processors themselves so much. Any got any back here? No, good. And then there's people like Samsung, Apple was mentioned. which I guess is a possibility. Google was one, though I don't really see that. I don't really see that fitting into Google's strategy, and that's the problem with most of these companies. They're not processor companies; they're device companies. So it's sort of like, who would fit into. Yeah, Google does do everything, but when you have, like a market, usually people want to stick in that market. Because if a company were to buy AMD, it wouldn't just be, we're just going to take this company and use it to make processors for, these machines or our devices or whatever. It's going to be, okay, well, now you've bought this company, you're now obligated to compete with Intel in the PC space. Because if a company were to go for AMD, they would pretty much have to do that. They would have to compete with Intel, and whether they want to or not, because I don't think that... Oh, okay, there aren't any up here. I don't think that the government would allow AMD to exit the market and leave it solely to Intel. There would need to be a competitor there. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I was thinking is, that AMD doesn't really have a very strong market advantage. It's in a market where it's competing solely against Intel. It doesn't have a lot of engineers because they just laid them off. It doesn't have a strong product line. I mean, this is pretty much a terrible buy for any company who's looking, to invest their money. I don't really see how AMD could pull out of this. So it's sort of like, okay, who's going to want to buy this? And the answer is pretty much no one. And then, okay, well, what happens if nobody buys? Then AMD goes out of business. But that would still leave Intel as the only competitor. So in my lifetime, in my lifetime, I've never seen any sort of business situation where there was only two companies and one of them is doing so poorly that they might go out of business. I'm not really sure what would happen. So it's sort of scary because I am all for innovation, and I think that AMD does a great service to the PC community by trying to push the market in a certain direction that Intel might not go if it was just left to its own devices. But they're not really doing that well anymore. So market forces are pushing them out, leaving only Intel. So it's a really weird, sort of surreal situation. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that. So we're just going to have to see what happens, I guess. Intel, obviously, what's the best case scenario? Oh, geez. A company buys them and is actually able to come up with a chip design before the company runs out of cash, and it's actually successful. The problem is that even if that were to happen, it would take years. I mean, they would have to go down and pretty much redesign their chip lines from scratch and start, oh my god, even up here, and pretty much start over. So, I mean, I don't really know who has the time or the money to pour a couple $1 billion into a company that barely even has brand recognition. I mean, and that's one of the things that I was talking about, is like, I don't see how in any planet or on any planet that AMD is a good investment. So I think the more likely scenario, do I have any? Oh, I do have smooth stone on me. Good. It's going to replace it. I think the more likely scenario in all of this is that the government's going to swoop in and it's going to pretty much prop up AMD. They're going to, make Intel give them certain x86, which is the architecture. They're going to make them license certain x86 technologies for a extremely cheap price to AMD to keep them competitive. So, my God. Well, yeah, they are trading high today. They were up about 15% earlier. But that was because people are looking to get in cheap and hoping that somebody buys the company and pays a premium to shareholders. So I don't know, but I think it's sort of also being fueled by the rumor that Google or Apple or someone along those lines may buy them if they decide to sell, and then suddenly those shares are going to be worth a lot more. So that's probably why, but it's certainly not an investment in the future of AMD, that's for sure. I think it's people trying to make a quick buck. And I know that that's something you're not supposed to do, but I think that that's what people are doing. So we shall see. It certainly will be interesting. It is very bad investing because, I just don't think that AMD is going to ever pull out of it. That's sad to say, but I think that unless there's some sort of miracle where the government says, okay, you can't go out of business, you have to stay in business. What do you need to do that? I think, unless something like that happens, there is no future for AMD. In at least the CPU, the computer processor market. So, whether or not there's a future in graphics chips is, a different story. It's a different market. Different competitor as well. NVIDIA is not as big, as powerful, or as, amazing as Intel is. So, that's something entirely different. But we're just gonna have to see. Let's and hope for the best, because AMD's life is pretty much directly tied to the future health of the PC market. Oh, I made it in the hole. I was like, what happened? Where am I? So enough about that business stuff. Let's see, what else do I have down here? This was actually an interesting anecdote. The Tesla Model S, which is a car company. I know I've mentioned them before. Oh, jeez, really? Down here even? The Tesla Model S was actually chosen as Car of the Year by Motor Trend, which is actually a really, really big deal. Because a lot of people still don't believe in electric cars, and Tesla is sort of the first car that's poised to break open that sort of feasibility that electric cars can be done and they can be done well. So for them, getting Motor Trend Car of the Year is a huge deal, because they beat out things like Lexus and Mercedes-Benz and a lot of those luxury brand cars. Oh, geez, there's even more up there. So, big deal. So good on them. The environment is something very important, and I think, ow, my ankles. And I think it would be sort of cool to have a really nice electric car like the Tesla Model S. So I hope maybe I'll be able to have one day. Oh my god, how did you even do all this? I just started abusing my ender pearls here. So that was sort of cool. Let's see here. Catch, got it. One thing that we've been trying to, we've been talking about doing here, me and Garen have been talking about for a while now, is adventure maps. Some people suggested a map called Revenge of the Gods, I believe. And we've decided that we're going to try it out. We may record it and post it, or we may not. It just sort of depends. We're going to try our best to get it out, but we'll have to see how it goes. But if any of you guys have suggestions for other adventure maps that you would like to see or that you found enjoyable to play, go ahead and leave us a comment, and we will check them out. Because we're definitely looking for some new things, and if anybody knows anything, we've only really played one. I think it was called The Dream or something like that. It was pretty short, but you know, let us know what you guys think. Ooh, here's a nice view of the village that I need to finish. Alright, let's see here. Man, all the way up there too. Gotta be more forceful with what? All over the place. The bear is grumpy. Grumpy bear. That's why I'm having to clean all this stuff up, because I believe I angered the bear. I'm sorry about that. Might have to edit that out, because I think that was a little bit loud. But let's jump down here. But yeah, there's, let's see, what else we got on here? Oh! A lot of people have been waiting for, even outside? Jeez. A lot of people have been waiting for Half-Life 3, or Episode 3, or something. I'm not really sure. It's been really quite a while since I've played Half-Life 2, and I finished it. But the other day, I guess 4chan, 4chan/VBoard, raided Valve's headquarters, and they were actually able to meet up with Gabe Newell in a hallway and ask him a bunch of questions about upcoming stuff that Valve's doing. One of those things... Crap, are you serious? I guess, I don't know. I guess they broke in. It was pretty kind of funny though. He's like, "Oh, you guys are breaking into our place. Let's sit down and have a chat." They asked him about Half-Life 3. He wouldn't say. But one interesting thing that they asked is, you know, what are they working on as far as game engines is concerned? Because the Source engine, which is what Valve uses for its games currently, is getting a little bit old. So it actually seems like, oh, he didn't put any on the pumpkins, of course. They are actually going to be doing a Source Engine 2, and that engine is going to be released with an upcoming Valve game. They wouldn't say what it was, but some people tried speculating, saying that it was going to be Half-Life, but a lot of people, and correctly I might add, pointed out that Ricochet 2 is supposed to be coming out, or at least Valve is working on it. Whether or not it's coming out soon, I don't really know, but that is something that is coming, so it will probably be with that. So should be really interesting. Valve usually does really, really awesome work with their stuff, so a new engine from them will be very interesting. Oh, none in here. Has he defiled my foundry? No. Good. He left my foundry alone. Alright, let's see here. See if we missed any. I think there's still, a few lying around that I might have missed. Yeah, that is something that will be interesting, because we've tried our hand at making games before, and it's really, really hard, not just to come up with a good game, something that people will find fun and interesting, but getting licenses to use technologies. I mean, a lot of this stuff is locked down, and if there is a license for you to use it, you end up settling for crap or your own. And if you want to use something good, they'll usually require that you pay a hefty amount of money, and then they take your profits if you actually end up selling the game on top of it. So it's kind of a bad deal. But I mean, if you're like a game company and things like that, I guess it's okay. But if you're just a little indie guy, usually that means you're stuck using Flash or something like that. Which, you can get some good games with Flash, but if you have a little bit higher aspirations for something a little bit more 3D, a little bit more professional, it's sort of limiting. Got it. Alright, just a few more here. And then, there's also a lot of talk nowadays about closed systems, and how Microsoft isn't... No, I didn't go to the village. About how Microsoft is not doing any favors for indie developers by using this new closed system model. And one of the things that I saw the other day is that people were talking about the potential of an Xbox tablet. Excuse me. Which I think would probably be just about the worst thing ever. The Xbox is, hard to develop for. They made it a little bit easier with their XNA thing. But XNA is gone. It's dead. They killed it in Windows 8, so it is no longer a thing. And then, you'd have this tablet that, first off, would be, bad for gaming in general. And then it would be a closed system, so you would just have, your standard games that, you already have on Xbox. So it wouldn't offer anything new. And nobody likes portable gaming anyways. Damn it, I missed one. I mean, when was the last time anybody who was over the age of, 21 sat down and with a portable game device? I mean, they're for, kids, or people on the go, which most of the time if you are on the go and you're older, you're driving and you can't game. Oh crap, I'm stuck. There we go. Yeah, or people who want to play Pokemon. That's the only reason to buy handheld games these days is for Pokemon. And Bear agrees. Alright. So, did I get everything? Where are there others? On the other side? Oh my god, why do you hate me? Oh, this revenge is terrible. Ugh. So, yeah. just gotta get these last ones here. But oh, you did the village too? Oh my gosh. I had no idea that there was so much. There was so much to do. But yeah, so I've sort of run out of things to talk about. I thought that I did not realize. Oh crap! I did not realize how big and how hardcore I would be revenged upon. I am losing my train of thought because I don't know how to express the distraughtedness of this. And they're all over the village too. Oh yes, that's a good thing. If you guys have any suggestions on anything that you would like to see around the castle, we are still taking suggestions. I'm still trying to work in a couple of the ones for the board. That's where my lapis went. So if you guys have anything you'd like to see around the castle, things that are currently on the board, things that are currently not on the board that I'm trying to figure out how to do, is a thieves village. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while now. Sort of like a Robin Hood-esque in the forest sort of village. I don't know if I want to do it underground or if I want to do it in the trees or anything like that. So that is probably the only thing cosmetically that I have planned. And then potentially maybe like a mob spawner. Not a mob spawner. What's a mob drop? What do they call them? I forget. Anyways, one of those. Yeah, mob farm. That is something that I've wanted for a while now because I want to have TNT. That would be pretty much the only reason why I would have it. And maybe for easy access to bone meal. But other than that, oh, there's more lapis in here. Oh, lapis everywhere. See, what did you run out of? Would you run out of trapdoors? You started using lapis. What is this? Oh, this is from a few days ago. Oh, lovely. He stole my lapis a few days ago because my ender chest got filled up. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do with this lapis, so I'll put it in a chest. He stole it and then apparently stuck it around the village. Is that it? Is that everything? Alright, let's see here. Make sure there's no more trapdoors. Let's do a last check. Let's check the outer wall. But yeah, so a thieves village is something I'm working on. A mob farm. And then there is also the entire backside of the castle. I do want to put cannons in there. Oh, I'm out of ender pearls. I do want to put cannons back there, TNT cannons. So I'm gonna have to work on something for those. But that's probably not something that's going to be coming soon because it's a little bit dangerous. I'm worried that if it doesn't get done right, that it'll be disaster for the castle. Whoa, what the heck? A little bit of lag there. So I've been avoiding that, but it is something that I do want to have done here pretty eventually. All right. Is that everything? Alright, looks like everything. I hear a bat. Alright, looks good. Alright, so looks like I have finally finished cleaning up this area. And you, Mr. Bad Bear, no more trapdoors. No! Put those trapdoors down. Alright, guys. That's gonna be it for this episode. I'm gonna chase this bear down and make sure that he pays. And we'll have to... Oh, you know, if you guys have any suggestions for a revenge plot, let me know. Because this bear needs revenge. Oh yes. Fear the wrath of our viewers. You can't get away. Alright, guys. Thanks for joining us for another episode. And we will see you next time. Take care.